I came to the school in the 7th grade and I loved middle school here at Montrose. It was amazing. But I felt that high school, you needed something bigger, which I thought meant better, so I went to the local public high school. And I was back at Montrose in 3 weeks because there was such a difference in the atmosphere. At the public high school, I was just one of hundreds of students, and the teachers were friendly, but they didn't connect with me and they didn't care about me as a person. So I came back to Montrose, and I've never regretted that decision. Montrose as a high school was amazing. The teachers really connected with me, and they helped me grow not just as a student, but as a person. And they cared about every aspect of me, not just the academics. And because of Montrose, I was able to get a full scholarship to my university, and I don't think I would have been able to get that anywhere else. So I'll always be grateful to my parents and to Montrose for helping me get there.
Montrose has also helped me with my music outside of school. I participate in the New England Conservatory in Boston. I pretty much spend my Saturdays there. I leave at 12:15 and get home at 5:15. When it came time for me to audition for my first chorus, Mrs. Demersion helped me choose my songs so I could get something really good. And just like, if ever I've had a problem in a theory class, or I haven't known what to do in chorus or needed help or anything, Mrs. Demersion is always ready to lend a hand, which I really, really appreciate.
I want to teach them to think logically, how to approach a problem. And it may not even be a math problem, but whatever problem comes their way, I want them to know how to approach it in a logical manner. Think it through.
When I first came, math was a real struggle for me, and Mrs. Least was our teacher, and she was reviewing some things from 6th grade, which I had not learned yet. So she offered help every day after school on Monday. And I went, and she just opened my eyes. I didn't like math before, but she really made me appreciate it and enjoy it so much more than I had before.
When you mass popcorn and then you pop it, the mass didn't disappear. It was released as water vapor, and they get to see it and they understand it, and then the whole concept is much clearer for them because they experience it in the laboratory with something that they are very familiar with, and they can tell you about it, they can tell their parents about it, and they really own that concept. And for many of them, it's the first time where they're like, oh, that's why that happened.
In most classes, like a further investigation portion where we'll take what we learn in the classroom and what's within the confines of the syllabus, and we'll apply it and expound on it and figure out more, because there are always those burning questions, but our teachers never quell our curiosity. We're always allowed to find out more and just work with what we get.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just a poor boy.
Actually, my favorite class would have to be Miss Rice's philosophy class, junior year.
Oh, I love it.
I know. Because, I mean, at first I had some reservations about the whole philosophy thing, kind of thinking, I would make the argument that it was kind of unnecessary to take. But really, it actually, strengthened everything that I've learned throughout my 7 years at Montrose. And, I mean, it like the fundamental questions, like, why are we here? Like, why do we get up every day in the morning? Those were answered in a logical way.
I think the most satisfying part of my job is when I receive an email, this time every year in the fall, from a senior from the previous year who tells me, oh, Mrs. Allrod, thank you so much for making us read Aristotle's Ethics or Machiavelli's The Prince, because we're studying it this year and I have a leg up. Because I like to tell them in class, I expose them to the big ideas, but really it's in college that you can go much deeper and sort of have the time to contemplate the implications of all these, the big questions, the meaning of life.
Montrose imbues a sense of human dignity, teaching its students what it means to be a human person and how to care for each other. This perspective has influenced my work as a nurse, reminding me to perform all technical aspects of care well, but to never lose sight of who my patient is and what his or her needs are as a person.
I remember when I was in 8th grade, each year we have a different theme of the year that student government thinks about and decides and votes upon. And the theme of the year for my 8th grade year was purpose. And this had really struck a chord with me because there's so many things that can play off purpose, like what's my purpose in life? And then there's the smaller things like, oh, like what's my purpose today? Am I going to do my homework? Am I going to do well my sports game? That kind of purpose. But just the whole word of purpose invokes so much thought and contemplation that it makes you become so much more reflective and concerned with yourself as a whole, and not just the little parts that make up who you are, like not just your soccer and not just your course and not just your academics, but yourself as a whole.
Montrose is a happy place. It's happy because it's a joy that comes from within every faculty member in the school, every administrator in the school, and it trickles down from the head of the school to the faculty, to the students. And the students go home and they can bring that joy with them into their own families.
I first came in 7th grade, and I didn't know anybody. And when I first came, I couldn't open my locker for 2 weeks, and all the other girls would come and help me open my locker. I remember that as one of the things that really struck me, as everyone just seems so happy that you're there. They didn't regret having a new girl in class or anything.
My advisor really is basically like, I go to her every day. We're like best friends. I mean, she really, I feel like by the end of our first meeting, basically she knew more about me than I thought I knew about myself.
Something I really look forward to is advising. I find myself waking up in the morning like, ooh, I have an advising meeting today. I get to sit and talk with somebody and help myself personally develop.
Yeah, me too.
But most importantly at Montrose, I learned to have a relationship with God. I learned to talk to God. And at 25, when I lived through sudden deafness, I didn't have to look for him because he was already there. And it was my strong faith and my foundation that I gained at Montrose that helped me get through these struggles. And now today I am a mother, a teacher, and a wife. And our dreams, not always the way we expected them, but our dreams have come true. Right?
Yep. The girls at Montrose School live their faith. They are given opportunities every day to learn more about their faith in the classroom, to know their faith. You know, when you know something, it helps you to love it. And girls at Montrose don't have a 2nd grade understanding of their faith. They're given the opportunity to have an understanding of their faith through high school and to ask the big questions: who I am, why am I here, what is my purpose? And then they learn that they are children of God, and they believe this because they see it lived by every individual in the school trying to live it. You know, we all struggle to live it. We don't live it perfectly. But we're happy because we have an understanding that I am a child of God, and I have a joy that comes from within me, from God my Father. And that is, in my opinion, what makes the girls at Montrose School joy-filled. It's living out their faith every day.
Out of what sets Montrose apart, I think the beautiful thing is, of course, the basic thing is we have our Lord here. And he's right in the center, you know, the architect planned that. So you come into school, he's right there. He's the most beautiful room in the whole school. And so we have the Mass, it's set at 11:15, right in the middle of the day. And so the children have an opportunity to go there. Now, unknown to ourselves, that radiates through the whole school. His presence in the school, it lifts everybody up. That's why it's so cheerful.
From Mrs. McKinney's 6th grade language arts and literature classes to Miss O'Donovan and her European history course with its 12-page research papers. At Montrose, I learned that hard work was demanded and intellectual curiosity was honored. It was as a student at Duke that I learned that what Montrose had taught me was not just to work hard in academics. It was to work hard, joyfully, in everything, for God, whether that be in my professional life as a teacher here at the school, or in my life as a wife and mother to Josephine, class of 2026.
What I'm really going to be thankful for from my Montrose education is the spiritual aspect that I have received. The daily Mass, the chapel periods with Father Dick or Father George, the theology discussions, all have really helped me shape my ideas and opinions and views of life.
I think a huge part of it too is like the whole message of Montrose and Opus Dei, like doing the work of God quietly in your everyday life. Like that can be applied no matter where you are in life. If you're in middle school or high school, college or out of college, like whatever you're doing, you can always be doing it with the attitude of I have to do my best because I'm here for a reason and God put me here, so I should use all the time I have to my advantage. And I think that Montrose really like hits the nail on the head with that. Like they really at least made me realize like how lucky I am to have this moment in time and how much I should try to accomplish with that.
To our supporters of Montrose and those who love it as much as I do, I would just thank you and be so grateful for the opportunity of working here and working with the people who work here, and for learning so much, especially from Dr. Boland, because I really feel that she is the heart and the soul of Montrose School, and we all learn so much just being in her company every day.
And we're very happy to be part of Montrose. Thank you.
Congratulations, 30 years and 130 more to go.
Happy 30th, we can't wait to be there, right, Father?
That's right. Happy 30th, Montrose.
And Montrose is different from our other schools because it's more of a community and it's all girls, and boys learn much slower and they're so immature.
No kidding.